Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Coffee and Headlines, our morning get-together live here on Facebook, where we take a look at what's going on in our city, in our state, in our country, in the region. We take a look at what you know, what you'd like to know, what we want to do, what we know about, and what we don't know about as it relates to living in Puerto Vallarta as a community of English-speaking locals. Then we throw everything in the mix while we're enjoying our favorite beverage of choice. It could be coffee, it could be tea, it could be a beer, it could be whatever floats your boat. And we just hang out for 30 minutes, 40 minutes. If that floats your boat, then you are more than welcome to be with us here in this Tuesday morning. It is August 24th, and if you happen to be new, we'd love to hear of new friends that are joining us. You can let us know by writing the word new in your comment, and that way we can give you a proper welcome. And if you have any specific issues that you want to bring up or a question that is important to you, then it is important to us, and you can help us identify it by adding a letter Q at the beginning of your comment or question. Today, I'm joined by my trusty assistant, Luna, who's just sitting next to me. Luna, how are you, baby? Are you ready to take some notes? Obviously you are. Yes. So Luna is ready to take notice of what's important here. And we are, of course, going to proceed with our news first and foremost. And then we're going to continue with some lighter issues that we want to share. And then we'll get to converse and we'll get to take a look at all your comments and suggestions. And I think we fixed our transitions from one segment to the next. So let us see if we did our work properly. I love it when things work. Let us start with another fire. Unfortunately, there was another fire in downtown Puerto Vallarta, this time at the Malecón condominiums located at the intersection of Morelos and Libertad streets just before the crossing over the Rio Cuale. The fire started early yesterday morning at one of the shops in the building, quickly expanding through the rest of the shops and some apartments. The water hydrants near the building were not on, so firefighters had to rely on water trucks to bring water to extinguish the fire, which took some time to happen, and this increased the damage. As such, businesses are now hoping for some sort of support from the municipality to recover their losses. Fortunately, there were no casualties involved. Whereas they surprised everyone with their strong attendance during the first vaccination campaign, folks 18 to 29 failed to show up as expected yesterday as the second shot vaccines became available for them. Authorities are hoping that the population is not waiting until the last minute to get vaccinated, as this can result in long lines and waiting periods. Of course, authorities are also hoping that employers are not making it difficult for their staff to leave their jobs and get vaccinated. Unfortunately, excuse me, Unfortunately, the Secretary of Labor receives complaints of business owners that are not allowing their staff to get vaccinated, which goes against their basic rights. If you are having problems leaving your job to get vaccinated or know of anyone that is, this article has both a telephone number and an email address where you can report the issue with the Federal Attorney's Office for Employment Defense. Sounds so fancy when you say it in English. Vaccination for the age group of 18 to 29 continues until Saturday. Health Undersecretary Hugo Lopez-Gatell announced that the third wave of the pandemic is beginning to decrease in at least 17 states in Mexico. Yay, this is good news. This is a good indicator, actually. However, it continues to be essential for all of us to follow the basic guidelines as we continue to flatten the pandemic curve. Nationwide, this is the third week in which there is a reduction in COVID-19 cases in comparison with the previous week, and hospitalization cases are also beginning to decrease, at least in some places. This is absolutely wonderful news. Because somebody asked just a few days ago how Mexico was doing in terms of percentage of people that have been vaccinated, these are the numbers that were released by Hugo Lopez-Gatell. We're going to focus on this information down here, which we find out that now 63% of the population, or 56,409,551 people, have received at least one vaccine, whereas 30,991,824 have completed their vaccination protocol. This is good. This is good. We're chugging right along. Meanwhile, here in Puerto Vallarta, we know that the local campus of the Guadalajara University, or CUC, reopened their free COVID-19 testing site last week, offering free tests on Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. After the first week, local authorities reported that there is a positivity rate of 48%. That is, 48 out of 100 individuals that got tested came out positive for COVID-19. This percentage is higher than other spots in the state. However, it is worth mentioning that the majority of the cases are happening in the 30 to 45-year-old population. They are mild cases and they do not require hospitalization. Free testing continues at the CUC, or Centro Universitario de la Costa, 3 days a week indefinitely with a previous appointment. Boom. Let me tell you that 3 more bars with a personality disorder were shut down over the weekend by licensing authorities, bringing the number of businesses that have been shut down locally for selling alcoholic beverages without food to 21 establishments since July 30. Presently, neither Governor Alfaro nor anyone in the state's health board have released any information or any confirmation that bars will be able to reopen at the end of the month as expected, nor is it clear when they will make an announcement to that effect. Of course, we feel strongly for employers and employees, business owners of bars, and we hope that they're able to resume their activities as soon as the conditions are favorable for that to happen. Now, let's take a look at our weather for the next few days, and let's see what we can expect. And the weather transition worked perfectly. Yay! Snarky Carrot Weather says, "Tell me how much you love me and tell me out loud." Well, isn't that something? Today we are enjoying, or right now we're enjoying 27 degrees Celsius. Humidity is at 100%. I am so overwhelmed that I need to cough. Hold on. Oh, that was better than my photo shoot from yesterday where there were all these naked men in my apartment, and I'll get to tell you about that in a second. Meanwhile, our temperature is 80 degrees Fahrenheit. There is 15% chance of rain right now. And how about that rain yesterday afternoon? I'll tell you about that in a second as well. But first, our weather forecast for today. We may have Uh, Possible rain starting again in the evening. We may have had some rain overnight with a high temperature of 31, low temperature of 24. Tomorrow, Wednesday, it will rain in the evening and overnight with a high temperature of 32, low temperature of 24. Thursday, we are going to have rain and humidity throughout the day with a high temperature of 31 and low temperature of 23. Yesterday, I had a photo shoot here in the house, and when I was done, I had failed to have breakfast or lunch, and sometimes that happens to me. And I didn't get done taking photos until like 5:30 or 6, at which point I was starving. And of course, while I'm working, I never notice that I'm hungry. And then I was starving, and I realized I need to go find myself some pozole. I had such a shameless craving for pozole that I walked down under the rain to nearby La Loteria Antojeria, which is a great restaurant that we haven't talked about enough, and got myself some pozole to go. Came back home. I was drenched, but completely gratified by feeling the warm, the fresh water in the warm climate. So I got home all soaked, but I got showered and I poured myself a glass of red and I enjoyed my pozole and everything was great. But enough about me. Let's go back to some of these headlines. Um, the weather cleared and the Carnival Panorama is probably already docked at Puerto Vallarta's maritime terminal with close to 3,000 tourists and 1,000 crew. Authorities have announced that 98% of the passengers are vaccinated and the remaining 2% are underage passengers. Also, in order for passengers to disembark today, they have to present proof of a PCR negative test. The Panorama is the first cruise ship with passengers to dock in Puerto Vallarta in the last 18 months. The vessel will remain docked for 8 hours, after which it will resume its journey. We wish all involved a favorable experience. I was going to say a positive experience, but that's probably not what we want, at least as far as COVID-19 tests are concerned. Now, I have a question for you. Did you feel the quake? Apparently, well, not apparently, it happened. I was just asleep. A 4.4 magnitude earthquake was registered at 4:17 a.m. yesterday morning with an epicenter located 131 kilometers southeast of Puerto Vallarta. I was fast asleep, so I didn't feel a thing. And fortunately, most likely, not many other people felt the shake. And and emergency services did not report any negative eventuality. The last bit of news that I want to share before we start chit-chatting is that Mexican crooner Alejandro Fernandez has just announced a free concert to be performed online on August 21st. The show will be available online in Tequila Don Julio's YouTube channel, and we have a Facebook event to share with you in the show notes so you can easily find the performance once it begins. It is worth mentioning at this time that the singer's father, Vicente Fernandez, has been hospitalized for some time and his outcome is still uncertain. Vicente Fernandez, of course, is a Mexican symbol, icon, super megastar of ranchero music and some mariachi music. And of course, his health is something that is very, very important to many of us, as he is one of Mexico's most iconic singers. For that matter, Alejandro Fernandez has become quite a cultural icon for our country as well. And Alejandro Fernandez's son is also starting to explore a professional career in singing. Um, Let me see what's next. I have a little bit of show and tell because I did a photo shoot yesterday. My friend Sebastian was in the house with his posse of sexy male dancers. They are an entertainment group and they needed new photos. And of course, they are trusted friends, so I was happy to let them in. But just in case, I want you to know that we followed all the sanitary protocols to make sure that there were no problems during the photo shoot. Actually, I took advantage of the fact that I had my friend Sebastian and his friends here because, as you know, I've been crocheting this privacy screen put in front of my bathroom door, which I always keep open. And I do all my bathroom deeds with the door open because I can and because I choose to. But of course, this faces the bathroom door faces the window that is in the hallway where my next door neighbor can see me doing my things. But as you can see, my crochet curtain, which is in progress, covers the privates quite well, at least from that distance. Of course, if I get a little closer, I can see my friend Sebastian in his undies standing in the bathroom, but that's kind of sexy. You know, the people that walk outside of my apartment are never going to notice whether I am sitting in the toilet or shaving or nude or whatever. So that was yesterday, and that's the news for today. So let me now take a quick look at your comments just to see what you guys are up to. I happen to see a couple of cues, so it'll be interesting to see what is piquing your curiosity today. Of course, we are blessed by all these wonderful welcomes as every morning. You guys make my day. Albert made the mistake of playing golf. Who wants to play golf? Well, I'm sure that some people enjoy golf, but Albert, I'm glad to know that you are here with us today. Bonjour to Dave, who continues to be gallivanting through Paris, through gay Paris. Let's see what else we have. Ronnie says, good morning from Plymouth, Massachusetts. I miss Puerto Vallarta. Well, some days I miss Plymouth just because I was a New England boy for so many years. Let's see what else we have. Raymond, our baker of choice, is here. It's a terrific Tuesday. I love that. I love that. Kathleen saw the cruise ship coming in this morning. You know, that's kind of fun. You know, I used to be freaked out because of the cruise ship was coming, but I'm excited. You know, it's like we need good news, and I'm sure that the cruise ship authorities are doing the best they can to make sure that this transition back to having cruise ships in the bay is a safe one. I mean, I'm sure that they're doing their best damn job, and why not? Let's see what else we have here. Luna, people are thinking that you are sexy. And Luna, of course, is totally unconcerned about that. Oh my God, I cannot even see your face. Hold on, Luna. Let me. Yes, it's all about you. Yes, it's all about you. But back to me because it's all about me too. Let's see what else we have. Ooh, good morning, my dear Professor Harper. It's always good to see you. Let's see what else we have. Get rid of that thumping heart. Let's see what else we have. Thoughts and prayers for the people involved in the fire, of course. We must take a moment to be grateful that Mexico is doing much better than so many more advanced countries as far as vaccination goes. Well, and we're certainly not trying out anti-worm medicine for animals down here, whereas other countries seem to be quite obsessed with them. Julie asks, how's your honey doing? In case Logan has not responded to that question, I've been checking in on Logan and honey pretty much every couple of hours ever since I learned that Honey was not doing well. And she's recovering fine. I am so excited to see that Honey is doing so much better. And I am very, very happy for both Honey and, of course, Logan. Is there a picture of the pozole? Unfortunately, no. It didn't even last that long. It's like I came home with my large order of pozole, combined all the ingredients, and it went down before I knew it. If I tell you pozole and red wine, who knew? I had no idea. Is Honey a dog and a cat? Honey is a beautiful doggy. Doggy, doggy, doggy. And Logan has responded. Thank you very much. So grateful to live in a country where affordable veterinarian care is regularly available. You know, I have not thought much about that because when I lived in Boston, my kitties went to a hospital that was the Angel Memorial in Boston, and I don't think we ever paid that much money. But I have not even thought about how affordable pet care is elsewhere, but it's good to know that it is affordable here. I wonder how passengers are providing proof of negative tests. Carnival doing them on board or using the test when they boarded. I would imagine, Barbara, that the crews, the ships themselves have to provide the testing because they have to arrange for all these things to happen in order to comply with the expectations that authorities in our country have. So I would imagine that they must be testing on board. Let's see what else. Passengers have to have a negative test to disembark. Do they have to have same to re-embark? Well, I won't. I don't think so, Alan. I think it's worth remembering that it takes 14 days for the virus to show up in your body, and to me that's part of the risky part of the equation. Let's say that you test negative on as you disembark the cruise ship and you do something in town and for whatever bad luck or bad reason you end up catching the virus. When you go back on board, your body will not manifest the disease that I understand for 14 days. So I don't know how many days after you get the virus it starts showing up in tests. But again, that is something that can probably be better answered by the cruise lines themselves. Dan asks, Paco, Kathy is curious about what the difference is between ranchero music and mariachi music. Well, to keep it simple, mariachi music is performed by a mariachi ensemble, which is to say that symphonies are performed by a symphony orchestra, whereas ranchero music can have other kinds of orchestrations and is not necessarily performed with mariachi. Although it can happen, there can be some overlap. A mariachi singer may choose to perform a ranchero song with a mariachi band, but that does not necessarily mean one is going to become the other. But that's the most simple way to establish that difference. There's more to it, of course, but I'm going to keep it simple for the time being. Distracted by photos? Oh yes, every inch of my body was. No, seriously, I was just so happy to have my friends. I know many of the dancers that were in the house yesterday, and I'm just so happy to be part of the equation that helps provide sustenance and jobs and employment for my friends. You know, my friend Sebastian's dance troupe is now working on a performance that they hope to bring to audiences at the Palm this fall. I wish I could show you some of the photos that we took, but because this was a job, were not my pleasure photos, so I am not at liberty to show you some of the photos that we did, but it was fun. It was fun, and we had a great time. Let's see what else we have. Beautiful privacy screen, as is the man standing behind him. You have no idea. Sebastian is just the sweetest man. He is a dear friend that came here from Argentina, and he is the perfect example of a hardworking person that has chosen to find ways to reinvent himself during the pandemic and has been quite successful at it. So every time I find somebody that comes to Puerto Vallarta, makes a happy, good living here, and finds ways to work with the system and be creative as far as sources of income are concerned, I just couldn't help but to love people like that. How long did it take you to crochet that doorway covering? Good question. Each panel has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 squares. I have 3 panels done, and crocheting each square takes me about 2 1-hour episodes of something on Netflix. So what I usually do is when I'm crocheting, in order to be able to just to focus on what I'm doing, I watch movies that I've already watched, so I don't have to have like permanent attention on the screen and thus make mistakes. So it takes me about a movie to do each one of the squares. So I've watched that's 21 squares that I've done so far. So that tells you that I've watched at least 21 movies while I'm making that curtain. It's been a while since I started it, and it's one of 3 projects that I'm doing right now. Second project being a shawl that I'm making. And the third project is, I get consumed by my addiction of making new necklaces. So that's usually what's going on in the house. Let's see what else. I enjoy golfing, and it's such a great way to be socially distant and active. When you sell it like that, it sounds completely attractive and sexy, Terry. I unfortunately had to learn uh, golf without having much choice in the matter because my father forced me to learn golf and my father forced me to learn how to sail. So it's two activities that, because they were forced upon me, I just never developed a liking for them. But, I know if I wanted to do something that would be socially distanced and a great physical activity, I would probably choose golf today. Da 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 da. Let's see what else we have. Trying to determine if the apartments affected by the fire you reported today were in Malecón 2, no water in the hydrants. Details, says Heather. Well, we try to report the information as much as we can, or at least the basics of them. There may be some more details for you to discover in the article if you choose to read it complete. Let's see what else we have. My cousin Norma chimes in saying, "My dog Summer broke a leg and it's ridiculous. I pay $6,000 for surgery. Ouch! Ay, prima, que feo. That is horrible." Norma, my cousin, happens to be the original mother of Luna. It was my cousin Norma from whom I chose to adopt Luna as my own when my cousin decided to move to the States. And now Luna is my baby, aren't you? Yes, you are. There you are. She's still keeping me company this morning. Let's see what else we have. Yes, we read this. We read this, Benny, but of course we focus on news that have to do with Puerto Vallarta. But we keep our eyes open to what's happening around the world, and some news are amazing, and some news are just like what the fuck? What are you guys thinking? Let's see what else we have. Lots of links and conversation about the carnival. Good. And Kathy here. Thanks for the music info. Dan's dad also tried to force him to learn golf, but very few people on the planet are as stubborn as my spouse, and he refused. Well, that's another thing that you and I have in common, Dan. It's great to know that. What? Abrea cafeo? I don't even know what language that is. Is that something I said? Is it something I said? I don't recognize that expression, Kimberly, so I can't comment on that. I'm happy to keep the house open for a few more minutes, although we've reached the end of the broadcast. If you wish to clarify, I'm happy to elaborate. Maybe I said something and it sounded like that. Abria café. It doesn't ring a bell to me. Anyhow, this is what we have. Oh, I said it a minute ago. What was I talking about? Because what you wrote doesn't sound like anything I said, unfortunately. Anyhow, please feel free to write a comment, and I'll be happy to clarify. If not, this is our broadcast for today. Today is Tuesday. Today I'm going to go take sexy photographs of sexy dishes served by our dear friend Michael Beaufort at his restaurant. And the rest of the week will continue to unfold, hopefully prosperously for all of you in a safe and healthy way. Oh, I was talking about the vet costs for my cousin. I said, "I prima que feo." No, but I did say something. But for the life of me, I can't remember what I said. Let me watch it again, Kimberly, and I promise I will let you know what I said because I can't remember the exact expression that I used, as is usually the case. But it is what it is. I hope you guys have a great Tuesday. I hope your Wednesday is just as wonderful. Stay happy, stay kind, stay calm, eat pozole, drink red wine, and stay in touch. And I will hopefully see you tomorrow. And if not, sometime very soon. Have a great day.